Hey everyone, I'm Summer. Welcome to my channel. I've been quite busy with work these days. Besides, I've been looking at houses and moving, so I haven't updated any videos. During this period, I received a lot of messages thinking that I had turned off the channel. I'm very glad that so many friends are following my channel. I'm back now. I will create more interesting characters together with all of you. Since I don't have much time for editing, this video is just the drawing process of a character I recently made. This is a practice work. The design stage was rather rushed and there might be some under-considered aspects. You can leave a message to correct them. Let's start enjoying the process of painting. Up to now, I still haven't got any design inspiration for this character, but the randomly formed rhombus shapes in the picture reminded me of clowns and magicians, so I added a string doll. The story seems rather ordinary. I also thought of the puppet element. This girl is a puppet performer who controls a string doll, but in fact, she herself is being controlled by a huge teddy bear, and she doesn't even know it. This bear was ruined and could only achieve its goals by controlling the girl. The girl became his puppet. I also added eye elements around the bear, and they were also the source of information for the doll bear. After having the story, I wanted to make this character more straightforward, so I thought of the clown's love collar and added this element to the character. Due to the change in the collar design, the rhythm of the shoulder and neck parts also needed to be adjusted. To add more details to the clothing, the process of drawing still needs to refer to the photo materials found before. I didn't change much of the structure of the skirt part. One just added some details. Originally, I intended to design the dress in an asymmetrical shape on both sides, as the socks on the legs were also of different styles. It seems that the effect was not ideal after I finished drawing. I kept this plan, but I still need to draw other plans for comparison. In the initial plan, I added more content, mainly adding accessories and layers. The layers of the clothing are divided into underwear, outerwear, belts, and accessories. The internal division of the shape will be more rich, and the changes in the shape will also be more, allowing the audience to have more content to watch. The collar was layered, a belt was added to the waist, and a continuous diamond-shaped pattern was added to the legs. The dress was rather empty, so I tried to add a mask element. Then comes the cleaning of the structure and the drawing of the final line drawing. For the final line drawing, I didn't use Photoshop but chose SAI because the lines in SAI are more delicate and smooth. I found that with the same pixel of brush, the lines drawn with the pencil in SAI are thinner than those in PS. Moreover, SAI can use brushes in units of 0.5 pixels, while PS can only increase or decrease the size of the brush in units of 1 pixel. Many details of the sketch were not drawn. When drawing the line drawing, I had to adjust and draw simultaneously, which took a lot of time. For instance, I didn't draw too many sketches of the face and hairstyle. This part needs to be designed in combination with the character's personality traits. I chose a relatively sharp eye shape because I wanted the character to look more aggressive and also to enhance the sense of the story. The face is a relatively important part of the character. I have made some details and rhythm changes to the lines, and the structure of the eyes can also be strengthened a bit. This is the final line drawing. After drawing according to the sketch, I felt that the overall density relationship was not very good. So I added more decorations to the character's costumes. Metal ornaments were added to the hats, chests, and skirts. This can also enrich the colors and materials. The teddy bear also features the same elements as those on girls' clothing, such as collars, diamond-shaped patterns, and bows. Moreover, details like stitching and exposed cotton due to damage have been added to the bear doll. The mask element seemed to have little connection with the theme, so I dropped this idea. I divided the characters and the bear in the background into different groups. The hair and eye areas can be separated by color, and later they can be changed according to the color card. Before filling in the colors, I usually make color cards first. This is a habit I have developed in my work. Having color cards can make the colors of your characters more unified and also make your coloring process more efficient. I usually choose the color scheme based on the character's personality and occupation, and then select colors that contrast with them and adjust the colors. In my previous videos, I have 2 episodes dedicated to introducing my color matching process. Of course, you can also use photo materials to extract colors to make color cards. Pay attention to the differences in the lightness of colors. Each color should have a different lightness so that the characters can have more layers. I will first fill in the large area of color and then adjust the color. Sometimes the colors on the color card may seem fine, but when filled in the characters, they may not be harmonious. This is because the arrangement of the colors intensifies their contrast. At such times, I will make minor adjustments to the lightness and saturation of the colors on the characters. During the color matching stage, more time can be spent. Colors can directly convey emotions and establish a connection with the audience. Many beginners often rush to render and neglect the importance of color matching. The color scheme of the bear doll in the background should also use the same set of color cards as the character. Since the picture is an integrated whole, the colors need to be unified. If you want to distinguish different images, you can choose different colors as the main colors under the premise of consistent color cards. For this picture, I choose dark blue-gray as the main color for the character and white for the bear. White serves as an auxiliary color for the character, and the blue-gray on the character's body acts as an auxiliary color for the bear. This way, the picture can be both connected and varied, which is a method I often use. Patterns can be created by interweaving and combining colors, which can adjust the point, line, and surface relationship and the contrast of density in the picture. By emphasizing the design of the visual focus part, the viewer's gaze can stay longer. Pay attention to the background and auxiliary elements of the same pattern as the characters, from the initial design echo to the color, to ensure that the design elements of the picture are consistent. Gradient colors are also very useful. They can enrich the layers of colors. I often use them on bright color parts to increase the variation of colors. Using the same method, I made 2 different color schemes. Eventually, I chose the first one. For the rendering of this image, I tried a new approach. I set the background color of the character as a group and used a positive overlay layer on this group to draw all the dark areas of the character. I didn't do too many details in this part. I just distinguished the illuminated and backlit areas, then adjust the color of the hair area to pink, the skin area to orange, and the white area to blue-purple. I refined each part on this positive film overlay layer, mainly to supplement the shadows that were not drawn, correct the shape of the dark areas, and add more details. Usually, I would render areas of different colors separately. This picture is on the same overlay layer on the main film. During the drawing process, there is no need to consider too much about color changes. Just draw the pleats, projections, and other details, which can make the rendering simpler and improve efficiency. However, the picture will lack color changes. For this process, I only used the hard-edge round-tipped brush and eraser that come with PS for the transition parts. I use the smudge tool. Beginners often overlook the shadows of clothing. Where there is light, there is shadow, and shadows can represent the spatial relationship between objects. To make the skin look more bloody, I used an overlay layer to add a bit of highly saturated orange to the thin parts of the skin and the edges of the shadows. The face was also touched up with orange to make the girl look better. I didn't draw too many details about the eyes. The eyes of this character weren't drawn too big, and the area occupied by the face in the picture is also very small. Drawing too many details of the eyes may increase the local density and disrupt the primary and secondary aspects. The line drawing of the skin part can be adjusted to reddish-brown, which can weaken the line drawing and make the skin look clean. The details and layers of the pleats on the clothes are still insufficient. I used a normal layer to select a darker color than the current dark areas, which enhanced the closed shadows of the pleats and the light and dark boundaries of some structures. When editing the video, I noticed that the color chosen for the dark areas seems a bit too dark. On the shadow layer, I use a normal layer to draw reflections. I choose grayish-blue to draw, which can add more color variations to the dark areas and make the dark sides more breathable. Sometimes I also use high saturation colors. The material of the clothing can also be expressed through reflective and high-gloss features. I've been working on the dark areas all along. Now it's time to focus on the highlights, especially for smooth materials. Highlights are very important. Metal materials have strong highlights and reflections, so they are the key parts to focus on. During the painting process, I strengthened the texture of the metal. The contrast between light and shade of the metal was quite strong, so I deepened the color of the boundary line between light and shade. I don't want the material of the dark-colored clothes to be too smooth. For the highlights, I didn't choose high-brightness colors. The hair design is a braid similar to a sphere, and the highlights are presented in the form of a sphere receiving light. Use a color fading layer to enhance the light effect of the illuminated part of the character. The color fading layer is prone to exposure transition, so be careful not to set the opacity of the brush too high. I didn't draw too many details about the bear in the background. I only made simple light and shade volume adjustments. I wanted to create a contrast in the density between the character and the bear so that the character could stand out more. The colors were painted on different layers. To make the colors more uniform, I used the color balance adjustment layer on all layers to make a small adjustment. I wanted to keep the concept of manipulating eyeballs to peer into the world, so I added eyeballs of different sizes in the background to make the atmosphere more creepy. The eyes of this teddy bear were covered with bluish blood vessels, which also made it seem a bit evil. The eyes and the little bear form scattered points in the picture. I linked them with luminous lines and also wanted to represent the dynamic effect of the eyes rotating around the character and the big bear doll in this way. Enhance the halo of the eyes, simply adjust the brightness and space of the background. And this character is completed. Finally, you can also make adjustments to the color and contrast relationship according to the picture effect. That's all for today's sharing. I hope everyone can have fun during the creative process. If you find it helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll bring you more exciting content.